Hi, Gems. Let me reposition you just a little. This reading is for anyone who identifies as or is terribly interested in a Geminian at this time. With the Four of Cups on the bottom of the deck, you may be being offered something currently, maybe from someone, maybe just from the multiverse at large, gems that you're not particularly interested in, you're thinking of withdrawing from, maybe an offer that actually looks good for you for some of you and you just can't focus on it, focused on things from your past or things that you can't have for some reason. I know you can't see the cards like this, Gems. Can't exactly see me perfectly either. But after I get the cards laid out, I will reposition the camera so that I can show you the spread as well. So this reading is for Geminians of any kind, and to Gemini sun signs, happy birthday. We are right at the beginning of your season as we are finally recording your May reading. But this reading is for Geminians of any kind. So Gemini sun signs, Gemini moons, Gemini rising signs, maybe your Mars, your Venus, or your North Node is in Gemini. Or maybe Page of Coins is your first card out, Page of Earth. Maybe you have other placements in Gemini that you identify with, or maybe your intuition just pulled you to this reading for any particular reason, and there absolutely may be a message here for you. You're crossed with the Two of Swords. For time's sake, Gemini, I think I'm going to do a slightly abbreviated Celtic cross for you, and pull some clarifiers in addition. It will also have an extra piece of advice as well in this spread. I kind of go back and forth between a slightly abbreviated version of the Celtic cross or just doing a Celtic cross. As far as private readings are concerned, when you get a private reading from me, it depends on what questions you ask, but generally if it's a half-hour reading, generally you'll get the abbreviated version. Whereas with the longer readings, hour and a half, we can do a full Celtic cross or whatever kind of spread you prefer. Some people have preferences on that, some don't. As we get the rest of these cards out, I'll just say, I'll just go ahead and do info about private readings. All of that you can find down below with information about all of the decks that I'm using or that I use in Lunartics Tarot videos. I'm using the Game of Thrones Tarot today. So you'll find that down below and all the creators of the decks, etc. Here's your crowning thoughts. Your higher self, when your ego is quiet, knows that you need a shift in perspective or that somebody's lying to you, which might be pivotal information considering you clearly have a decision to make, maybe about that offer that we saw you sort of refusing, withdrawing from, turning away from. But regardless of whether this ends up resonating in detail with you or not, if you would like a private reading from me, again, all of that info is down below. Links are there, everything that you need. LunarticksTarot@gmail.com is the email if you just want to go ahead and email me. First, after, at the same time when you place your order, all of it works for me. So let's jump in to your end of May, second half of May, beginning of Gemini season reading here. Hope the music isn't too loud for us. So you'll just get one reading today. Yeah, this is a different version of the Celtic cross reading the Celtic cross spread than I've ever done. I told you I was going to do the abbreviated version, then I started doing the full version, so it will be one card shorter, probably, than a 10-card spread. That's nice. I like when the spread the message comes out organically like that, almost as if it dictates to me what needs to be shown and said and seen. You've got the Chariot in the recent past. You've got the Seven of Coins, the Seven of Earth, reversed in the root of the situation. The Empress reversed in the near future. You know what? Let's just go ahead and lay it out. Let's just go ahead and do it. Ten of Cups reversed in your inner world. King of Coin, King of Earth in your outer world, external world. So you may be dealing with a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo energy currently. If it's a Taurian energy, it looks like the divine feminine in the situation, whether that's you or someone close to you, a divine feminine in the situation, possibly a mother of sorts, or just a nurturing personality type, is sick or sad, unhappy for some reason, maybe sick and sad both. It could also be a Cancerian energy that we see there with the Empress card in your near future, who is becoming sick or sad shortly, but in the recent past, you know, just didn't seem that way at all to you. There's a few different messages coming through here, but in your inner world, during your season, Gems, what's coming through is a lack of joy, a lack of shared emotional fulfillment with this Ten of Chalices or a Ten of Water, Ten of Cups in this deck reversed. It's all rooted in the Seven of Earth reverse. It's all rooted in you giving up on something that was taking too long, giving up on a project, maybe a relationship that was just simply taking too long, growing complacent. King of Swords is your advice, King of Air. So with that Ace of Swords in reverse in your crowning thoughts, maybe it's you who isn't being honest. When your ego is quiet, you know you're lying to someone, maybe yourself. You see the perspective of yours that needs shifted, possibly, Gems, and you're just not doing it. And your advice is to be honest, to be forthright. Or, you know, if you're going back and forth, if you're interested in divine masculines and you find yourself going back and forth between two options, because you do have the choice card, a fork in the road, a decision that needs to be made. If you find yourself going back and forth between an earth sign and an air sign, especially if you're interested in a divine masculine energy, and maybe you're interested in women who carry a masculine energy, right? That's totally possible. But then the advice is actually to lean into the air sign, the Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, rather than the earth sign. So many messages. Death card on the bottom of the deck, the Lovers and the outcome, but the Seven of Swords and the King of Fire also wanted to show as part of that outcome. Just the Lovers wasn't enough. So, in spite of the fact that I said it was going to be an abbreviated Celtic cross, that always happens. I can't. And the Queen of Swords as well. Interesting. So I need that to be out for me as well. Death card, Hanged Man, Six of Swords, if we want to dig into the deck. But that always happens, that I say this is what it's going to be, and the cards say, no, this is what it's going to be. So it's actually a 12-card Celtic cross spread. Let me take a look here. I don't even want clarifiers yet. So yeah, you might be going back and forth between earth and air, especially, again, if you're interested in divine masculine. You've got a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurian energy in your external world, but your advice is to go with the Libra, Aquarius, or Geminian energy. Maybe that's your Geminian energy, and your advice is to focus on self. Or again, the advice is to be honest, be forthright, where you have been maybe lying to, like I said, either yourself or somebody else, possibly. Currently, you're learning and you're earning. Perhaps because in the root of the situation, you decided to give up on a project, a a goal to make a certain amount of money, doing a certain activity, certain type of work. It looks like it was taking too long and you decided to give up, or you were thinking about giving up. You either decided to, or you started thinking about it in the root of the situation. Perhaps because of that, you're currently learning something new, or for some of you in the recent past, you decided to push ahead. You thought about giving up on a project, a goal. Like I said, maybe specifically a goal to make so much money doing a particular activity, right? You considered it. You were growing complacent, but then in the recent past, someone or something maybe remotivated you. Like I said, it may have been a Cancerian energy that we see showing up in your recent past. But this is youthful, confident, motivated energy that forges ahead, forges forward, mowing down every obstacle in its path, his or her path, in order to get to the goal. So it may have been taking a really long time, and some of you may have been considering giving up on a project, but then in the recent past, you got that energy back. You said, no, I'm not giving up on this after all. And it may have required that you learn a new skill in order to complete this goal, to reach this goal, to complete this project, to earn as much money as you wanted to. You may have had to become a student again entirely, go back to school, or just learn a new skill. Like I said, be educated on something. And I don't know if it's people that you've met on your path, or if it has to do with obstacles, but there is this decision. There is this fork in the road, a decision that needs to be made currently, gems. Some of you are simply with that Two of Swords feeling peacefully armed with the knowledge that you're learning. You know, you've been a student, become a student again recently, or been a student as of late, are learning lessons. Maybe they're just life lessons, karmic lessons, lessons in love, since we do have the Lover's card in your outcome here. Lessons in seeing the truth, cutting people out of your life, and allowing things to die and end and transform, and for yourself, your relationships, your surrounding environment, including the people, to be completely reborn in a way, because you can see the truth of them and who needs cut out of your life in order for you to express your authentic self to the best of your ability, right? Those could be the type of lessons that we're learning, having just come away from that Scorpio full moon, gems. I started to say, and I'm not sure if I finished, this is just your reading for the end of May and possibly to see you through your season, but I am going to do 2 readings for you in June to say happy birthday properly and officially. You'll get a general and love reading in June, and yours should be out first. So back to this though. Those could be the lessons you're learning. It could be lessons to improve your skills for whatever goal you've been trying to reach, money you've been trying to maintain or obtain, or both. That path to money, to jobs, learning skills, goals can certainly illuminate the people around you's true nature, true attitude toward you, whether or not they're supportive of those goals, or whether or not they're understanding of the time that those goals require you to dedicate to them, right? I definitely think with the Lover's card in the outcome and the Queen and King of Swords both showing up, that a lot of you have multiple choices in love, maybe even 3, especially those interested in divine masculines. You may have multiple choices in love because we've got 3 kings here. So I also see, for me, I feel like I see the number 14 showing up 3 times too, right? Even though they're not numbered. But you've got 3 kings, a fire king in your outcome, an air king in your advice, and an earth king in your outer world. I mean, just right in a row. So I do think it's about a loving masculine partner for a lot of you. And one more time, I will repeat myself and say it could be a woman, that you're interested in women who, allow their masculine side to rule and show and sort of dominate presently, if not just in general in their life. Because we all have a balance of both, right? And if you've got this decision to make, especially with the Queen showing up as well as the king, this is a great partnership, these two air energies coming together. Now, I'm saying to lean towards the air sign, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, but this could also just be a very logical, pragmatic, practical, honest, forthright person who doesn't let people down, who doesn't pretend that their limitations are something different than they are. They're just very, very logical. They make decisions using their mental realm primarily. They're masters of their mental realm. Again, very pragmatic is the word that comes to mind most forcefully. And like it seems like you have maybe been lately, Gemini, they don't have any problem cutting people out of their life who don't belong there. Their emotions about a situation don't stop them from making the realistic, practical decision. Now, if you're not advised toward being with this person, partnering with this person in some way, there is some kind of a lengthy entanglement in the outcome of the situation. Now, with all these kings and this being the Lover's card, I do see this being the potential to choose a path of being a partner with somebody. Now, it could be a lengthy business entanglement. You can get in bed with a partner in business, right? And that could absolutely be what this Lover's card is representing if you don't have any new love interests on the table in your life right now, or you may not feel like that's coming, and that may be what it turns out to be, since this is predictive. But that's also your card, Gemini. So some of you, in the outcome of the situation, you're advised to be this person instead of be with this person, because you do, if you know, when your ego is quiet, that you're not being honest with someone, maybe yourself, then like I said, that's your advice, is to lean into being that honest, forthright person. And when I say that energy doesn't let anyone down, it doesn't mean that he never makes mistakes or that he doesn't, say no when asked to do something sometimes, right? It just means, like I said, he knows what his limitations are. So if he can't do something or she can't do something, that person's just going to be honest about that, because they're honest with themselves about what their intentions are and what their limitations are. And mistakes still happen, but then they just own up to them and apologize because, well, they're honest. And if that is the case, then this Lover's card is representing you just embodying that energy by the end of your season at the latest, and feeling very much yourself, feeling alive, authentic, in your own skin, just feeling more like you. And just like the King of Swords and your advice can be talking about the qualities of a King of Swords instead of specifically the air signs, this King of Earth in your outer world could be talking about the qualities of this Earth King instead of it specifically being a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, which is just, someone stable, focused on their money, master of their material world, sometimes a family man, normally works for the community, also pragmatic, yes, but a more feminine energy. Regardless, by the time you get to the outcome of this, whether you're partnered with someone for a long time, romantic or otherwise, or just feeling like yourself and committed to you and who you are in your path, it looks like someone may try to shake things up. Especially if you're in that camp that has many suitors, especially if you're in that camp with the choices between kings or masculine energies, at least at this time. I see someone coming in and being sneaky. And, they may awaken passions. They may be very passionate towards you. You may be very passionate towards them. This is a bold, fiery, commanding, courageous, very social energy here. And he could very much be coming in and trying to sweep you off your feet, kind of thing. Sneak right past one or both of these other kings that are trying to have your attention. But as I said, we will draw clarifiers while I let you look at the cards with me, Gems. Give me 1 second. Why do you have to be so complex, Geminis? Why? No, really, it looks very interesting. I know that the North Node is in Cancer and Mars is in Cancer. So some of this Cancerian energy we're seeing in your spread and your reading, gems, could be that in the recent past, no matter where your north node is, your soul's mission, and the all of our planet of action and drive and motivation, Mars, those are both, the north node and Mars are both in Cancer, so there can be some Cancerian influences over just those areas, your areas of motivation and drive and taking action and in terms of completing a soul mission of yours is how I always read our north nodes. But let's go ahead and get a clarifier on this Cancerian energy in the past, the Chariot right here. I know this isn't the kindest angle of your cards, gems, but this is what we've got for now. At least you get to sort of see what I was looking at. What is this Chariot in the recent past for Geminis? The Strength card. So perhaps a Leo came into the picture, into your life, or started giving you advice about this goal that was taking too long, or whatever it is that you're currently studying and learning. But it looks like, to me, gems, what it looks like is, some goal you were working on was taking too long in the root of the situation. And then you've got a card of focused will, youthful energy, focused intention, like I said, driving, moving, mowing forward, knocking down everything in your path to get to your goal. Maybe a new goal, or for a lot of you, I think it's in spite of the fact that it was taking too long for you. It was taking too long for you, but you decided to control that impulse, to give up on it, and instead to push forward. And like I said, I feel like it led you directly to learning and earning something new to hopefully help this move faster, I think, to ensure that this success could come about quicker, or the money that you could make from succeeding at something could come about quicker. Still, currently, your higher self knows that there is this need for a perspective shift. Let's get a clarifier on that too. I said you had 13 cards down, or 12, but there's actually 14 at the bottom of the deck, and 2 cards having wanted to show up for that as well. And you still have this choice to make. What I really feel like the message is that it was taking you too long to reach a goal, probably to earn money related to a goal. And so, whatever you've decided to learn probably will help you reach that goal or earn that money quicker. But there's still a decision to make, because you're not creating something that you really want to, which is in the near future, which is why you're not emotionally fulfilled. Maybe you have your money right, your material right, and people can see that. But you've got to be honest with yourself and shift your perspective about what your future looks like and what your next step looks like in regard to your chosen path, your chosen passion, or one of them, because something is not being created and it's not fulfilling you emotionally. Understandably, we want to express ourselves creatively, we want to be creators, we want to put something into the world that represents our message, our energy, puts forward what we want to leave here in this world, what we want to contribute to the collective. And you're just not. Or for some of you specifically, it's not creating creative expression, a creative artwork, it's motherhood. For some feminines, we're talking about that, you know, a choice between your own path and moving forward, being invested in a passion project, or being invested in a lover, a lengthy entanglement with another person. And it's almost like a choice between the two. And what we see here in the near future is that, you know, there's still a lack of motherhood that we were hoping for. Let's get one clarifier on that Empress reversed as well. I think the outcome we could be seeing, yeah, I think you're so hard at work that you're not creating what you really want to create. You really need to, your higher self is telling you really need to shift your perspective about whatever the second step is in your path right now, whatever you are invested in currently. I think you've just decided it's taking too long to reach this goal or make this money, so I'm going to push forward even harder than I have been. And it just leaves you in a state of work, monotonous work, earning money, yes, but not creating what you really want to create. And with your Mars and the North Node both being in Cancer, and your drive and your action and your soul's mission all having a Cancerian influence on it, of course that makes you very emotional, aware of how emotionally unsatisfying it is to not be working on or creating whatever it is that your soul wants to, whatever your emotional body, your spirit, your mind, your heart, whatever it is that it's wanting to create. So maybe the first step in your current path was starting to learn something new, was starting to learn and earn faster. But the second step might be exactly what you need to shift the perspective about. What is what you're learning and earning worth if it's not allowing you to create what you truly want to? What is it worth if it doesn't give you real confidence? What gives you real confidence? You personally, it's a question to ask yourself, you know. Because yeah, you're learning, you're earning, you're working, you're earning, but you're not creating. And it's just leaving you emotionally unsatisfied, but you know this, you feel this. Your material world is mastered, but is your mental world mastered? Either how are you not being honest with yourself about how much it's bothering you, or how can you shift your perspective in order to include time and space in your life for this thing that you truly want to create? Because I think where this is headed, you're headed toward a lengthy entanglement. Maybe you're going to be on this course of study for a long time. You're going to be on this course of earning in the way that you're currently earning, even if it is monotonous, it doesn't allow you to create for a long time. You may be signing a contract of sorts with work, with education, or with another person, if that is what is distracting you from your own personal path. Like I said, for a few feminines, I see this decision between being entangled with a lover in order to make this motherhood come to fruition, or choosing your own path, moving forward on that. But that's just for a few. For everyone, though, this represents a lengthy entanglement of some sort, a contract of some sort. And then, it's, especially in this particular depiction in this deck, this is speaking to me right now of someone taking something, being stealthy, you know, sneaky, even stealing something, sure, but something that they feel like belongs to them. And this could absolutely be you stealing your time back. You may feel like you have to steal time from whatever it is that you are learning and earning in order to become an entrepreneur. which the King of Fire, Spears in this deck often represents for me personally, in regards to by selling whatever it is that you truly want to create that you've been denying yourself. And yeah, some of you do have the 3 different king suitors. And if that resonated with you, then I think that that message came through pretty simply and easily already. And some of you have both going on. Some of you have those suitors and you have the rest of what I'm describing going on. I love when that happens. It happens a lot in my readings. I see it's either, yeah, and here you are. This is an equal give and take. You deserve to be getting as much back from the energy you're outputting as you're giving to the people you're giving to by outputting energy, right? If you're not getting a lot out of your studies, if you're not getting a lot out of your studies, as in it's rewarding because of what it earns you or what it will, but it's not what you love, then you've got to make some time, even just a little time in the day, week, month, some time to be creating the thing you love to create. Maybe you've decided you need to study business, but you love to play the guitar. You know, I'm just throwing first thing off the top of my head out there, but even if it's just a little bit of time, a week or month, you have to make some time, take some time away from this work, whether it's learning or earning or both. Because you're definitely headed toward this lengthy entanglement, the signing of a contract, so to speak. And this can be that lengthy entanglement with your school or your work, stealing too much time from you so that you can't make it to this entrepreneur status. You don't have time to become an entrepreneur in the name of what you really love. Or it could go the other way. It could be vice versa. You could enter this lengthy entanglement or even reconsider this lengthy entanglement, and you could be the one instead stealing time from that thing that you don't really love in order to focus on this chance to become an entrepreneur in the name of what it is that you do truly want to create. And you can give equal time to both your studies and your monies and your dreams. But you have had a lack mindset. I haven't been earning enough. I haven't had enough time. And I think for a lot of you, what needs to happen is you need to own that lack mindset. You need to truly see and accept and own that lack mindset. And that, above all, is really what needs to be cut out. Is your own perspective. It's not helping anybody. It's certainly not helping you. That's what needs to be transformed here with the Death card. Reborn as something new. It's mostly you and your own perspective. Because right now you feel suspended in between these two things. I can't choose. You know, you have this choice to make. And it just requires a perspective shift. You can learn and earn and create. You just feel suspended in between your options right now, and it feels like you can't. I'm really feeling that. It's just you feel stuck, stopped. You feel like you can't. You had all this strength and energy in the past, but it's pushing you forward just to the education, the acquiring of new skills, the acquiring of new work and money, and that is vital and important and great. Certainly for a time being at least, but this idea that, well, I can't also play the instrument or draw the drawings or write the book. I can't. I just don't have time. I don't have time. That's as much of a lack mindset as somebody who says, I just can't afford it. I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I can't see the way. I don't have the support. It's all the same here. This wealth of some sort that you're just telling yourself that you don't have. And it's just a perspective shift. And you really, I think what needs to happen is own it, see it, own it, forgive yourself. Some of you may have lost a lot of years with the lack mindset, which can be super painful to change. That can be the reason why people don't. You don't want to accept new truths because that can mean that you wasted a lot of years not seeing it from a perspective that frees you and lightens you and enlightens you and evolves you and develops you and really truly puts you where you want to be, makes you who you want to be. And forgiveness is so magical. It's the medicine for so many things. You really just need to forgive yourself for that, gems, and go ahead and allow this perspective to shift. Mercury kings and queens. I mean, it's your season, it's your time, and it's just you holding yourself back. Like, though, you know, not for everybody, but just those that resonate with this message. And I know it can't resonate with all of you all the time, but just for those of you that it does, it's really just a perspective shift away. I think you only feel like you have a choice to make right now, but I think the choice can be that you're going to give to two things. You're going to give to two people so that you can make sure that you're getting as much back from the energy you're outputting as you're giving to others, right? I mean, this is beautiful to have your material world dominated, mastered. You know, where your income's coming from, you're earning it, you're delegating it. You feel comfortable with it's your material future, where things are going to come from in the near and even distant future, but without shared emotional fulfillment. What does that really mean for you? And that's why some of you would rather choose a path with an actual lover. Like I said, it's a lengthy entanglement of some sort, but it could absolutely be a partner, a person. Let me get one more clarifier just to clear up that Lover's card and the King of Fire. So two more. Yeah, especially for those of you looking for a divine feminine counterpart, this might be a lengthy entanglement with a person. Maybe that's what some of you are thinking, you know, between what I'm trying to create, what I'm trying to earn, and what I'm trying to learn in some sort of educational setting. I really don't have time for a relationship. But at the same time, you're emotionally unsatisfied and unfulfilled. And so I think you're going to make the choice for this divine feminine. You're going to, gems are going to make the choice in favor of a divine feminine. So if you're looking for a divine feminine counterpart, maybe you're making the choice in favor of going down that path with her. If you are a divine feminine, then you're going to make the choice in favor of committing to what it is that allows you to create, what it is that you truly want to contribute to the world at large, right? Either way, this fiery masculine here could be Aries, Sag, Leo, certainly someone, again, passionate, bold, influential, is going to enter the picture and rock you. Now, maybe that's you, creators, those of you who are taking this reading as being primarily about what you want to create in the world. This can be you becoming an entrepreneur and not tearing down the structure of everything else you had going, and the job you had going, and the educational setting you had going. You might just decide, you know what? No, I'm starting a business instead. I'm becoming this. Or it could be that you enter into commitment with someone and this passionate person comes in and rocks the boat. If you're thinking, oh, I would never, that couldn't happen to me. It could happen to the partner. It could happen with the person that you're with being distracted by someone of this nature. So I definitely see two messages coming through, one for lovers, one for creators, if you will, if we can separate it like that. But this remains the same. Yeah, it's definitely about a coupling for a lot of you with the Two of Cups showing up on the bottom of the deck now. And it could be that the message for the creator is, like I said, for those who are wanting to be mothers and wanting to create life, create a child, but feel distracted by work. There's a lot of distraction with money and work and success and goals, pulling away from what we really love here, gems. who we really love, or what we really love to do, really loving on ourselves through doing what we love to do, creating what we love to create, right? And there's a balance to be had. I don't feel like the reading is asking you or telling you or advising you to stop learning or to stop earning, but simply to use your mind to create a schedule and a plan, and to delegate different days, hours, times in some way to still dedicate time to what or whomever you love. The partnership or the project, whatever, will fix this shared emotional fulfillment in your inner world. Because I understand these choices have to be made, but ultimately none of that success or those skills or the material wealth is going to mean much ultimately if this 10 of Cups remains reversed, if there's no shared emotional fulfillment, and that's what you want and that's what you're going for. And that probably is the influence that Cancer is having over everybody's drive and soul mission right now. We're very much aware, or very much more so in touch than we would be at other times, with the fact that part of that drive, part of that motivation, part of that soul mission is also to have emotional fulfillment. We're human beings, and without that, the soul mission, the drives and motivations wouldn't be worth anything to us personally, the person carrying them out, right? So I hope that the insight that this offered was able to reach you here, Gems. I know it was confusing and there were multiple messages, and the recording is twice as long as I thought it would be. So I will have to cut it off here because we're running out of space. But if this resonated, or if it didn't, if you'd like a private reading with me, just scroll down to the description box below. I think we may have talked about that. Thank you all so much for all of your support to Lunartics Tarot. I hope you make wise choices for yourselves moving forward, again, whether this resonated or not. If it didn't, I hope you'll check back for the June readings, check in on the lunar pools, see if any of those things resonated. If you're as confused as this reading has left me, perhaps you're still wondering what the Scorpio full moon really offered you. For a lot of us, it seemed to take a lot of things away rather than offering gifts. And in its way, those are gifts, but that's why I made a pick a card reading that asked the question, what gifts did that moon offer us? Because I know that it did, but a lot of us were framing it from the perspective of it's mostly just stripped things away, given gifts by taking things. So that pick a card reading may help to illuminate what it was that you were offered or gifted and given during that full moon that we just passed. Otherwise, don't feel boxed in or determined by anything we've laid out here, Gems. This is just a snapshot of the path that you're on now, some of you. And I love you so much, and I will post another reading for you very soon.